Hey guys, happy Friday. It's the best day of your life. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Um, if you're interested in learning how to wholesale real estate, I don't know if you know, I've announced it a few times, but basically, I will teach you for free. I'll give you all my courses for free, and we will work together and we will split it 50-50. So, I'm going to show you how to make it happen, and you're going to make it happen, and we're going to do it together. So, if you're interested, reach out to me. I'll put my email at the end in the comments below. Today, I wanted to talk about the secret and the law of attraction, which by this point everybody's heard of. But I want to talk about how it changed my life and how important it was. And what happened was I've been listening a lot to Bob Proctor, who is, he's passed, but he's amazing and one of the original thought leaders and one of the people that just always had Think and Grow Rich with him, which is a Napoleon Hill book. By the way, Outwitting the Devil is the best Napoleon Hill book you can possibly buy. So get the audio because the voice of the devil is amazing. Um, so the first time I heard The Secret was like 2008, maybe 2007. And for most of my life at that point, I was 2007. I was like 29. And I was making millions of dollars, blowing it all. Um, every year that I was an adult, I just made more money and more money and more money. Um, didn't save anything, probably spent more. If I made 3 million, I probably spent four. No, had no financial literacy in my house. Um, And then The Secret got presented to me. And if you've never watched The Secret, there's like you can just go on YouTube. And in particular, I just do The Secret the first 20 minutes. Matter of fact, I'll put a link in here below. It's 24 minutes. And I was like, and it's about the law of attraction. And simply put, like attracts like. So if you are, you know, thinking that you're going to have a bad week, you're going to have a bad week. If you're thinking you're going to have financial trouble or you don't have a resource that you need or something, that's all you're going to make that, you're going to attract that to you. The law of attraction cannot differentiate between what's good and what's bad. So if you want something good, like they use a good example, which I use too, when you're a kid, and I have two kids, 7 and 9. If they want something, they are talking about it all the time. They are determined to get it. They don't have any money. They don't have any resources. They're going to tell you, this is what I want. 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 You know what? They always end up having it. And a lot of things in me becoming a father, I really envy children and everything is possible with children. And to use this example, you know, if you want something, you have to think about it and you have to be about it. Now, where the law of attraction broke down with a lot of people is you can't just magically just like, hey, I want to have $1 million. I want to have $1 million. You have to take action behind the attraction. Like you have to be about it, think about it all the time, but also take action. If you don't take action, you're not going to make it happen. But what's most important here is you can never, ever, ever be thinking about the negative. You can't be thinking about the things that you're concerned with. And this is what our minds are naturally back to the caveman mind, are looking for what is wrong all the time. Another good book is Don't Believe What You Think. I forget who the author is. And in that book, he explains that, none of us see reality. We have these glasses on. They're like goggles and you can't really see through them. And you are perceiving the world through these glasses, through your beliefs and your thoughts, and it's not true. So what you want to do, and what I want to point out here is you need to avoid. It's easy for me to say, hey, think about the things you want, be about the things that you want, but it's more important to eliminate the things that you don't want in your mind. Don't think about the negative. If you're in the middle of a crisis, find what is good. There's another thing that I'm studying now, the law of polarity, which is one of the universal laws, which is that if there is something bad happening to you right now, the exact opposite of that good is here as well. And you need to find it and you need to go, okay, you need to focus on that good, even if it's not here. You have to have that faith. You have to be thinking about that. You have to be sowing, you have to be sowing the seeds of that now and thinking about that, not dwelling. You have to avoid dwelling. You have to avoid people reminding you of that bad past, of something that's going wrong. And you have to just be, you have to have hope and you have to be thinking positive all the time. Now, nobody can do that. Even I can't do that. But I notice and I work with my thoughts. Like I notice if I'm thinking something negative and I know that I have to eliminate it. And so what do? I start thinking about, okay, what's the opposite? And if you can hear these roosters over here, they're just insane. My neighbor has like a farm. It's like all open and the roosters basically anyway. So I shouldn't be thinking about the roosters. I should be thinking about the beauty of the birds and of this, but I didn't want anyway. So don't when you have these negative thoughts, this is what you need to eliminate. So more than, hey, you need to be thinking like get off this, you know, presentate and that will get off this daily nugget and think positive. You should. But think of, when you get a thought that is negative, eliminate it with the positive and focus on the positive and focus on the positive. Um, I was watching the first 20 minutes of The Secret again, which I haven't done in years and years and years, but in tough times in my life, like I said, in 2007, going back to this story, when this was first presented to me and I had been making all this money, I never knew why I was able to make all this money and be successful. And it was because, you know, I never had any negative thoughts. Everything was attainable. You couldn't tell me I couldn't do anything. And this is the beauty of children. Children believe that way. And we get out, we get in the world smacks us around, and we forget who we are. But it is true. You are special. You can do today what you could have done then, and you cannot be stopped. Don't let some BS that slowed you down, make you think you are somebody different. And what happened to me, first off, I recognized, wow, look at the power that I have. And then, you know, just when I was recognizing that power, the 2008 financial crisis happened. I lost all my money at the time. It was like, I had a $30 million bankruptcy, which now seems like very little. But it was I mean, I went from making millions of dollars a year to be on unemployment and my ex-wife getting half of my unemployment. So I was making $1,000 every 2 weeks after making millions. I got evicted from a penthouse. I had all my cars repoed and I had like seven. Um, and I listened to the first 20 minutes of The Secret every morning when I woke up and every night when I went to bed. And it took me a couple years. Because what I lost during the bankruptcy was not the money, it was the confidence. And if you're going through some financial troubles or bankruptcy, first off, a bankruptcy, it's a club. Almost everybody has been successful. People that are unsuccessful, oh my God, you had a bankruptcy. People that are ultra successful probably had a bankruptcy. And there's like a little club. If you're not taking shots, then, sometimes you take shots and you miss. And if you're happy with being like, hey, I'm an employee, I'm going to make $80,000 a year and watch Netflix and chill, you're not going to have a bankruptcy. Congratulations. But if you're going to take shots, guess what? The beauty is there's the law of the bankruptcy. And you can start over. Starting over from zero is better than starting over from negative. And what I lost was my confidence. Took me 2 years to get my confidence back. And I really wish then I could have saw. There's a thing my coach always says is you don't have to wait 5 years to say, hey, this is the best thing that happened to me. When it happens to you and those things that are negative, those challenges, look now for what is positive there and focus on that positive. And that is the trick. That is the struggle. That is the work. The work is in the chaos to focus on the positive and be positive and be positive and don't start talking. Nobody wants to hear your sad story. If you're in the middle of a shitstorm, nobody cares. And you're only hurting yourself by telling everybody because everybody's, going to perceive, oh, this guy's a loser, all this, and you're not, you know, tell them who you are. You could be in the middle of a shitstorm and you know what? It's the best day of your life. And you're going to do this. And your past does not predict your future. So I wanted to talk about this law of attraction because it's important. And most important is pay attention to those negative thoughts that you have and get rid of them. Replace them with positive thoughts. But you can't just do that. You have to follow it up with action. Do not forget who you are. Remember how it was to be a child and in your early 20s and the world was your oyster. It still is. I don't care if you're 50 or 60. We're all going to live to 100. If you live 7 more years with technology, we're all going to add 30 years to our life. So everybody here is going to be living to 100 unless you kill yourself or, when I say kill yourself, it's not eating right, doing all bad things, putting drugs in your system. So you got a long way to go if you're 50 or 60 and you think like, oh man, I had 40 years of failure, failure, failure. Well, guess what? None of that matters. What matters is what you do today. That's what creates your future. Your past is bullshit. It's a waste of energy to even think about it. One of my most important prayers that I say, my father, God bless his soul, was an alcoholic, and one of the beautiful, most beautiful prayers, and when you're in AA and NA, is the Serenity Prayer, and it's God, give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Just gotta accept them, and for me, acceptance is moving on. It's a waste of energy, but what's more important is having the courage to change the things that you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. But today, you can have the courage to take control of your life about how you think, no matter what the outside environment is. You are you. You control this environment. You control yourself. You control your own economy, and that's what's most important. So, hope this little message helps you guys today on a Friday. I hope you guys have the best day of your life because every day is the best day of your life. Thanks, guys.